Welcome to the YDG podcast. If it's your first time, welcome. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you. Please stay and stay. Please take a moment to like, subscribe, and share the video if you haven't already. Now, today's topic. A decade ago, the Ghanaian dream was familiar: education, relationship, build a stable life. Today, a teenager can rack up hundreds of thousands of dollars and land brand deals that dwarf a civil servant's salary. The influencer economy has arrived in Ghana, and it has arrived loudly. But beneath all the aesthetics and the sponsorship lies a much more complicated conversation. What does success look like? Who even is an influencer? And is this process as democratic as it looks? But before we get into it, I'd love to introduce you to my lovely guests. Ladies, would you like to introduce yourselves?
Thank you. Hi, everybody. My name is Nanekia Otsu. I'm a business development officer, and I'm also a YDG delegate.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Hi, my name is Sadia Fatao. I'm a regulatory officer with the Food and Drugs Authority and YDG delegate. Thank you for having me.
Perfect. So let's get straight into it. My first question for you both is, what does the Ghanaian influencer in 2026 actually look like? And in a system where something as basic as data costs can take you out before you even enter the system, what does success even look like? What should someone look out for when they begin? Nanekia, we can get started with you.
Yes, thank you. So I believe that a lot of people assume that an influencer in 2026 is one who just picks up their phone, their tripod, their ring lights, and then just starts creating content or starts recording. But then it's more than that. I would say that as an influencer is one who is able to shape opinions, decisions, and behaviors of other people. And they are able to build with consistency, build trust. And I'm also very big on storytelling. You should be able to tell a story to the people, take them on a journey. So it doesn't become like an advert, but then it's more like you're taking them somewhere for them to reach a destination. So I would say that we have to acknowledge that not everyone has the opportunity to become a social media influencer. You can be an influencer in your community, but it doesn't really make you a social media influencer, because now we've seen the rise of data costs and then the opportunities that we all have when it comes to getting data, even getting a phone to record the content. And so without a good phone or good internet, you could be an influencer, but then it's not accessible to you in a way that other people have it. Thank you.
Thank you, Nanekia. Sadia, same question to you.
All right, thank you very much. When you look at the Ghanaian influencer in 2026, I think it goes beyond just having the numbers. Getting a phone in the first place, someone would say, oh, with the phone, I can just start being an influencer. But you see, getting a phone only gets you started. A smartphone will only get you started. To be an influencer, one, you need a clear niche. What exactly do you want to talk about? If it's in education, if it's in fashion, if it's in lifestyle, you have to be clear with it. Two, you have to be consistent with whatever content you are putting out there. And you also have to get the patience to allow the algorithm to also work, because the algorithm can humble you at a point. And also, you need data, internet, and that is where the issue comes in. So I think that the influencer in 2026 is the entrepreneurs of the digital space now.
Thank you, ladies. So we've established that the space is a lot more diverse than people think, which raises a bigger question of who is actually open to. We've always been told that social media was a way to block out the old gatekeepers, that a young boy from Tamale who has no degree, no connections, can build a sustainable life and career. Do you both, or Nanekia, do you think that that's actually happened in Ghana, or is this just a lottery system that we have come to describe as a meritocracy, which it really isn't?
Thank you. So I believe that social media has broken down traditional barriers, but this is just to an extent. Because as you said, today someone in Wa, Tamale, or other parts of Accra can build a brand and an influence with people without having to actually move to Accra or to know the people in Accra. Okay, and that was not the case some years ago. But then I wouldn't say that it is pure meritocracy. Two people can create the content, equally good content, but then only one becomes successful. And that is based on so many factors. We can look at it from the point of consistency. We can look at it from the point of the target audience. Right now, we are even looking at it from football. Everybody is big on football. So I would say that it's based on a lot of different factors, and it depends on so many things. So I don't think that it's a lottery, but I also don't think that it's a level playing field. Social media has opened the door, but it does not guarantee everybody the same level of outcome. Thank you.
Thank you. And to Sadia, there's a concept that I want to bring into this conversation. It's called Subain. It's an Akan concept, and it talks about the idea of your worth being tied to your character, what you bring to your community, what you leave behind, and your impact, basically. And it's a very special definition of success here in Ghana. And then we have to look at what the influencer economy actually rewards. And in your opinion, do you think this economy's obsession with visibility and consumption is a direct betrayal of this concept of Subain? Or do you think young people are just finding new ways to express this?
I think this question is a bit tricky. So I would say yes and no. So I'll start with no. No, in the fact that the influencer culture is inherently not a betrayal of the Akan concept Subain. It rather exposes us to a difficult and deeper question as to whether we are using the visibility to create value, or we are treating visibility itself as value. If you look at the Akan concept of Subain, it teaches us that an individual's belief is tied to their character, their integrity, their contribution to society, and even the legacy they leave behind. And I don't think that these values are outdated. And if for nothing at all, they are very much important in this digital age. So I think that this digital age is just a test of the Akan adage Subain, the concept Subain, and not really a betrayal. It can only become a betrayal when we try to disconnect influence from substance. Then we try using our platforms to communicate misinformation, harm people, deceive people, distort money. That is when it becomes harmful. Thank you.
You're welcome. And so, as you mentioned, millions of people are consuming this content. And so we have to actually ask what it's actually doing to the people on the receiving end. So Nana Ikuya, as you know, so many young Ghanaians are spending hours every day scrolling through images that are perfectly curated. We see the perfect body, the perfect lifestyle. What is that environment actually doing to these young people consuming this content who don't even have an idea of who they are or what they're even with?
Thank you. I'm very passionate about this particular question because I also do this sometimes. I mean, we are all guilty of doom scrolling sometimes, but we just have to be mindful of what we are consuming. And I would say that social media has made comparison very easy. And young people these days, they will see an influencer buying the expensive things, traveling outside, but then they don't see the struggles, the failures, the years of hard work. And behind those moments, like they've had failed moments as well. But then they only see that finished product. And so imagine a young person, right, seeing that kind of life. It makes them think that life should be perfect. And I'll give an example. If you think about somebody setting up a camera inside their house, going outside, then coming back inside, smiling, laughing, but they've had a very bad day, but they want to curate a kind of content for everybody to see. Imagine a young person seeing that. They will think that, wow, like my life should be perfect. I shouldn't have to go through any kind of struggles whatsoever. But then if this is what a young person is seeing, then that becomes very concerning, and it affects them psychologically. They'll end up moving into depression, asking so many questions. Why am I failing? And there's nothing wrong, I would say. There's nothing wrong with social media. But then when it becomes performative, then that's when it becomes a problem.
You know, the problem is not really about the luxurious lifestyle they are even scrolling through or even the perfectly curated pictures. It's like they are comparing their current realities to somebody's highlight reel or somebody's edited photos. And that is where the problem is, because most of the content out there are curated, and somebody is posting a graduation photo, but you are not seeing the midnight, sleepless nights the person has gone through. Somebody is posting how successful their business is. You are not looking to see the number of attempts they have failed. So it looks like our self-identity now is being determined by a stranger, a like from a stranger, or even the algorithm. That is what is determining what our identity is. So here, social media is not only playing a role in shaping how young people should dress or even the fashion trend to go. It's shaping their ideologies, their identity, who they are. And if we have a society that believes their identity is based on algorithm, appearance, popularity, or even visibility in the media, then we have a societal challenge as a country.
Thank you, Sadia. And I'm a member of Gen Z myself, so all the problems that you mentioned are very, very real to me. But that's just the cost of that's just the cost for those of us who are watching it. For the young people who actually decide to pursue this and chase it, there's a whole other set of stakes on the table for them. So, as we all know, there are young Ghanaians who are stepping back from education, from skill building, just because the brand deal looks more appealing and looks more rewarding than their degrees. Do you, Nanekia, think that this is a legitimate crisis about how an entire generation is choosing to invest in itself? Or is the older generation just panicking about a world that they just don't understand?
Yes, so I would say that the world has changed and education is no longer the pathway, because we see people building careers through content creation and entrepreneurship. But then it becomes concerning when they stop investing fully in themselves and they only think that it's about the brand deals. They could take on vocational training, they could learn a trade, they could get in some certificates. Because one thing that we should know is that industries will change. Very few people stay at the top, and platforms will change and audience will change. As you are Gen Z now, there's a new generation that's coming. It will also change, and all the interests will definitely change. One thing that I would say is that we need to see beyond and think beyond influencing. Build a business with the money that you're making from the influencing. Invest your income, learn a skill, and create multiple streams of income. Don't let the influencing platform be your only asset. Because I can say that the best influencers that we have are they have the longest careers and they are able to build a certain level of investment for themselves. So it's not just about choosing influence or education, but rather it's about choosing long-term growth over short-term success. Thank you.
Thank you. And now to Sadia, I'd love to hear from you. We've talked about what young people are giving up to be in this space, but there's also the question about what's being put into this space in the first place and who's actually responsible for that. Some Ghanaian influencers are using their platforms for good, for educational campaigns, even beauty content. I know I've learned a lot from one makeup tutorial or the other, but there are also other influencers who are using their platforms to spread misinformation that could actually ruin people's lives. So what are your thoughts on regulating the space? Should we? And if we should, who are we holding responsible? Is it the influencers? Is it the brands? What are your thoughts?
Okay, as a regulator myself, I think we should regulate them. Okay. We should regulate them. In that, I'm not saying that we should regulate their creativity, their thoughts, their expression, their experiences. But just like you rightly said, the harm, the deception, misinformation attached to it, we can put in policies that will shape the influencer culture. You see, influence is a form of power, and power comes with responsibility. So if it comes with responsibility, then people must be accountable. So I believe that we should put policies in place that can shape our influencer culture to make people accountable for whatever they put out there. Recently, I was scrolling through TikTok and I saw a lady giving a public apology. Why? She said something that wasn't right, and because she wanted likes. I mean, what? She came out to apologize because the person wanted to drag her to court. Then she came to apologize to say that she just did this for likes. You see, this perception, just because of the harm, the popularity you get, you want to put another person's life at risk. You just want to tarnish another person's image. Just because of these risks, that is why we have to regulate the social media space. If you look at China right now, I think somewhere last year, I heard China also brought in some regulations to regulate influencers. So before you speak on topics relating to education, health, law, finance, you should have a degree to be able to speak to that. And I think it's fair, because it's going to prevent a lot of misinformation out there. If you look at it right now you just be there. There are a lot of health education on social media, and you don't even know which one is right. If you look at the Food and Drugs Authority right now, before you air any advertisement from any media house, just know that whatever comes out, you are also accountable for it. So we are not going to blame just the influencers alone. The brands involved, the platform, they should all be held accountable. So now if you air any unregistered advertisement, we are not holding the manufacturer alone at. We are looking at the media house, even if it's a live presenter mentioned, we are taking everybody on so that people can be accountable.
And so, given everything that we've unpacked today, let's end with what this could actually become. So my question to you both is, if Ghana got this right, what would an influencer culture that's both commercially successful and socially grounded actually look like? And is that actually possible? Where do we even start from? So Nanekia.
So for the creators, they should ask themselves, what exactly am I putting out there? Is it to trend for just a week, or am I making people better as they are consuming this content? For the brands, they should look beyond the numbers and actually focus on credibility of their business. And then for the audience, one thing that we need to know is that we support the kind of content that we want to see. So at the end of the day, if we encourage people to post good content, we will definitely get more content that is good. So I would say that it's very achievable, and I'll just leave you with one word as a conclusion: impact. Thank you.
Thank you.
Interesting. All right. I also agree with what she rightly said. If we really want to get this thing right, then it means that we should stop looking at influencing as just an entertainment issue. We should treat it with some level of cultural and social institution. If we treat it, we see it as such, that it also has some level of national contribution, then the dynamics will change. You know, for now, influencing has come to stay. There is no two ways about it. So should we just leave it for algorithm to always take what it wants to? No, that is not. If you look at it right now it's about likes, followers, virality, viral movement. So now what we have to start from moving from just entertainment to making it something that is impactful for the younger generation. We should start rewarding people. And just like what the Foreign Affairs Minister did, he rewarded people who were promoting the culture of Ghana. Wood Maya, Anita Eskin. These are some of the things that will motivate people so that they can push some good content out there. We should still reward people with their followers, but we should make sure that the reward is not just from their followers or the viral movements, but the credibility, the trust they have built, the positivity they are sending out there. With that, I believe that we can build a very good ecocentric system. And what I would want to say last is, we should know that the influencer culture now is the new entrepreneur digital economy. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ladies. I think this is the perfect place to end. So thank you so much for joining me for this conversation. This has been the YDG podcast. If you haven't already, please like, share, follow us, and subscribe. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.